Let's go with letter grades. Last time for the year, guys, till the 2025 season kicks off in the shoe against Texas. We will not have another report card. Going with the offense first. Ohio State had 231 passing yards, 214 rushing yards for a total of 445 yards of offense. Good enough for 7.2 yards per play. They had 22 first downs. They were 9 of 12 for third down. Never attempted a fourth down all game. Time of possession was 32 minutes, 25 seconds. They did have one turnover. Chris, your offensive letter grade.
I had to, I bounced back and forth between A- and B+ all day. I'm going to go with an A-. I really feel like I can't give them an A. They would have got an A if not for a couple of bonehead penalties and more, also the fumble. Those two things kept me from giving them an A. I'm going to go A-.
I'll go B+, but I'm going to include the coaches in this. I thought we really took the foot off the gas.
Yes.
The fourth quarter. Yeah, we had a play there, a nice little counter reverse to Mecca. That obviously ended up being a fumble. It was a big play until that. But again, that's another reason why it takes the grade down a little bit. I think that after 13 of 13, Howard went through 8 passes. It's just like we really took the foot off the gas to play the analytics, try to run the clock. And I really think the team gets bored when we do that. And it just ended up being mistakes and disaster and and made the game closer than it needed to be. And even Cody Simon admitted they got nervous towards the end. And I'm like, okay, see, I understand you're playing the analytics. So I give them a B+ because they did play well and they did have their way the second and third quarter with a really good defense. But again, I hate that philosophy of take your foot off the gas. And that's probably one of the biggest things Ryan Day does wrong, in my opinion. He tries to all of a sudden switch from aggressive to trestle ball mid-game, and I don't think it really suits him or works for him. So I'll go B+.
That's an interesting take.
It doesn't work with the personnel we have, I think, more than anything.
I agree. Yeah, that's fair too. Yeah, exactly.
Day isn't built for trestle ball.
I don't think he manages a game nearly as well as Jim Tressel.
That needs to be explored. That's an interesting take. I went with an A. Listen, Notre Dame was probably in all next to Texas and Penn State. Okay, I take that back. We played a lot of really good defenses this year. Let's be honest. Notre Dame was one of the better ones, and we had our way with them in the first half. If the first half would have been another 15 minutes instead of going into halftime, and even when we came out of halftime, we scored on the first drive.
Right.
We owned that middle eight minutes that we talked about, the final 4 in the first half, the first 4 in the second half, that kind of really broke the back of Notre Dame in a lot of ways, and kind of was the game, because when you win by 11, there's 14 points right there. So in a lot of ways, that was the game. But I went with an A. I agree with what you're saying, Cory. We maybe did take our foot off the gas offensively there, but it's the national championship game, and you scored over 30 points, and that's what I felt like we needed to do. I had us scoring 28 total, and so I feel really good that we were able to put 34 on the board. So I'm going to give them an A. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball. But before we do that, there was a question about, have I heard from John Kennedy yet today?
He had a rough show last night, Eric. I watched his show last night.
I did
It was
too.
a rough one.
Yeah.
He got a ton of super chats, though. Don't feel too bad
He
for him.
got a ton of super chats, but he was
Eric-
definitely emotional after the game and had a lot going on, not just all with the
Personal
game,
life,
but personal.
Yeah, he
And then-
lost the game, and then they had him and his wife and family had to put one of their dogs down.
Yeah.
So it was
And
a
their-
rough
their
couple days
fans
for my
did-
man.
ooh, their fans
Rough
did
couple
worse
days.
for us after Michigan.
I did go over there and send him a super chat and
I saw that.
told him they're awesome and the show's awesome, and that's a great team. That was a really good team. Speaking of Notre Dame, you're the man, Eric. Thanks for being someone a solid dude all season long. Chris, still need that apology, my man.
For what?
For Marcus Freeman, dude.
Marcus
Come
Freeman's
on.
still a dick.
No, he's not. You're so. He
He's a
literally. You are crazy, Chris.
He's a traitor. I'm not giving any apology to that jerk. When he comes out and apologizes to Ohio State, I might consider it.
Is John Kennedy in denial? No, Kennedy's not in denial, dude. He took it on the chin like a man. He's just having a rough time right now, man. I get it. Although that one Notre Dame fan who I made the video about
Yeah.
has blocked me.
How? Oh no, Eric. Whatever will you do?
I continue to live my life and now with a national championship.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the more you mention that, Corey, that's resonating with me. The fact they took their feet off the gas, and man, that just irritates me because we were on pace. That game was going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
If not for that Emeka fumble and them taking their foot off the gas, that game had the makings of that 41-14 or more than 41 points for Ohio State. That I'd predicted. So I'm a little irritated by that.
He's irritated about a national championship. Unbelievable. All right. Our defensive letter grade. The defense gave up 255 passing yards, only 53 rushing yards. That right there, circle that, highlight, that's the game. Total yards allowed, 308. That's good enough for 5.3 yards per play. Notre Dame got 19 first downs in our defense. They were 5 of 12 on third down and 3 of 4 on fourth down. Again, the majority of that was on the first drive, like I spelled out. Time on the field was 27:35. Again, over 2/3 of that was the first drive. Oh, sorry, a third of that. Over a third of that was the first drive. You take away that first drive, Notre Dame only possessed the ball for 18 minutes. So, heck of a job getting off the field for the most part by the defense. 0 turnovers, however. Your defensive letter grade, Chris.
People are going to think I'm being a little bit critical here, but I went with a B-. And let me tell you why. We had some stupid penalties, extremely stupid penalties. We did allow this team to get back in the game. Now, part of that has to fall on the offense as well for going conservative, specifically, as Cory mentioned, the coaches. But, I feel like even though the defense did a great job in many aspects, there was a lot of areas where, like you said, no turnovers, only 2 sacks. We seem to lack some aggressiveness going after the quarterback, and then of course the bonehead penalties. I couldn't bring myself to do any better than that. So,
I'm gonna go. I'm around there, but I'm gonna go B. Yeah, I didn't like. I mean, look, 2 teams scored 20 points on us all year. Oregon was the one of them. They did it twice, and the other one's Notre Dame. They don't have a great offense.
No.
Riley Leonard's not a great quarterback, but he looked really good against us. I understand we tried to make him one-dimensional. We took away the run game, and that's mostly, I think, in my opinion, Tyleik Williams and JT Tuimoloau last night were just phenomenal on the line. But our corners were, other than Burke, corners not named Burke were getting torched for a little while there. And especially Jordan Hancock on that touchdown, and Jermaine Matthews missing 2 tackles in the same play somehow.
And Caleb Downs missed one too.
He did.
Yeah.
The tackling was a little bit sloppy. I don't think that should have been even as close as it was. A combination of defense letting up versus the offense putting the foot off the gas. I didn't like that in the second half of the third towards the fourth quarter. And I think the game was closer than it needed to be, and it shouldn't have come down to a game-sealing field goal. Or a game-sealing desperation heave to Jeremiah Smith, which I'll give Chip Kelly credit. It was set up nicely because he was drawing them safeties in with those QB runs. At the time, we were getting pissed off at the play calling, and obviously he set it up. But that being said, with the defense side of the ball, I was just like, guys, you've been better than this all year, and this offense is not better than Texas. This offense is not better than Tennessee. This offense, if they're not running the ball, Riley Leonard shouldn't be burning you that bad, and he did. So
B+. It's in the national championship. I felt like Notre Dame was going to be able to do some things, and let's be honest, guys. Winning 4 games against top 10 teams back to back to back to back isn't easy. It's tough. Okay, and I think that, in all honesty, was why we saw a little bit of some missed tackling going on. And I know that they were trying to limit reps and things in practice and trying to keep them, keep their legs under them and things going into this game, and getting, plenty of juice flowing and all, everything they needed, sleep, etc., hydration. But at the end of the day, man, playing Tennessee, Oregon, Texas, Notre Dame back to back to back to back, I can't fault this defense too much. I'm going to give them a B plus. And they had the big stops when they got them. So that is our final report card of the season.